Hi, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Supply Side Podcast by RVBusiness. I'm Chris Cieto, Chief Sales Officer. Joining me today from RVBusiness is owner and publisher Rick Kessler. And joining us today are a couple of gentlemen from Glass and GraFix. We have Matt Perkins, co-founder and Chief Revenue Officer of Glass and GraFix, and Jake Thronson, co-founder and kind of do everything guy over at Glass and GraFix. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us today on this special edition.
Thank you for having us, Chris. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Well, give us a little bit of background, a little bit of introduction about Glass and GraFix and what you're doing in the market to familiarize our audience.
Yeah, so we started in the garage a couple of years ago, and a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights. Very fortunate to be where we are now, helping partners nationwide with their aftermarket glass and graphics needs, short and sweet. So we're partnered with some awesome names, and we've really been able to build our team and I think provide a lot of value to a lot of people nationwide. So pretty excited with where we're at and where we're going.
So what is your product?
So we do aftermarket, as Jake said, aftermarket glass and graphics, high level. What that really means is replacement parts for any year, make, and model. Doesn't matter how old. So your rig might be 6 months old. It could be 30 years old. We don't care, right? And we have a system and a process that allows us to, on the graphics side, recreate essentially these parts that no longer exist, especially for older rigs, very quickly and at scale and remotely. We don't have any minimums, right? So think single decal instead of a whole kit, or single pane of glass instead of a whole window. Doesn't matter if the parts are no longer available or obsolete. And we turn everything around in 7 to 14 business days after we get what we need from our customer.
Wow.
Whoa, 7 to 14 business days. That's unheard of. Which leads me right into the next question. And that's, how do you do that? That's pretty quick.
Might get ourselves into a little trouble there saying that live and on camera, but that is in fact a corporate initiative that we are shooting for, and right now our reporting tells us that we are hitting that mark pretty much entirely across the board this last year. So very happy about that. So how do we do that?
Yeah.
It's a matter of systems and people. We've got a very, very lean. We got a very lean team. We're small. We're very young in this industry, but we are hyper focused on our systems and our processes, our people, of course, as well, and our tech that allows us to turn this stuff around, again, remotely, but very, very quickly.
Okay.
I think, Rick, to your point, or to your question, when we got in the industry, we spent a lot of time with the folks in the industry listening to their needs. So naturally, you learn where the problems are at, where the gaps are at, and we've just tried to be sort of a gap filler, right? Anytime there's a problem, we're like, hey, is there a solution we can provide there? And just by being flexible in that kind of way, it's allowed us to listen and I think really not build what we think the industry needs, but listen to the facts and try to find those solutions. So
okay,
pretty cool.
So who then? I'm sorry, Chris, but who then is your customer?
So we've got a few different customers. What I would consider our ideal customer are dealerships that have service centers or body shops, PDI, right? And then by extension, also their sales team. So if you got a sales line as well, we can help there as well.
Okay. Well, and I would have to imagine that even on the service side, if somebody is working to sell a used unit and wants to spruce it up with fresh graphics, because as well as they make the graphics, they're beating in the sun. I live in Colorado. Sun's about as strong as here. You go down to Arizona, California, where you guys are from, those things fade. And when that's your sort of book by its cover, view of a unit, to be able to say, hey, we want to take this unit from the outside, fix it up, and make that sale quickly on a unit that's turned in, that seems like a huge advantage for just dealerships who maybe are taking in a unit.
Yeah. It's a focus for us. I mean, our wheelhouse, it makes sense to anybody who's worked with us, who knows our offering, our service, our product, that service and parts is like kind of our go-to. It's less obvious to some folks that we would work with a lot of sales teams as well around the country, really for the reasons that you just mentioned. That especially if you're trying to turn, trade-ins, used units, consignments, et cetera, you may put them through PDI. They may be very functional mechanically, right? They're good, strong units. You've done the work. They're ready to sell. They just don't look like it from the outside, right? Typically, our experience is that lots are trying to sell them as is from an aesthetic standpoint, right? So what we can do for sales teams is come on in and give them an alternative that really didn't exist before, which is to say, we can help you at scale refresh a lot of your used inventory, irrespective of how many units you acquire monthly, right? So maybe it's 10, 20, 30, whatever, however many units. Some small percentage of those aren't going to look the part, right? So why don't you work with us? We'll come on in, we'll create a price point that works for that team and allow them to turn those old units into units that now look like they should be sell ready, right? It might be 10 or 15 years old, but they look brand new. That helps. GMs love that, right? Everybody on the lot, once you start digging into the metrics that matter to our customers, it's really, really important. Their average sales price goes up. Their days on the lot drop significantly. That positively impacts things like gross profit per unit and the amount of days on the lot. So it's an important thing, but it's a thing that's often overlooked, I would say.
Sure.
So I guess take me through a scenario. I'm Rick Kessler, owner of ABC RV dealership, and I'm interested in what you guys have to offer. So I reach out to you. Take me through the process.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we're free to use. It's a free service, right? We've created a platform that allows our customers to register, again, for free. Takes 30 seconds, super quick and easy, right? The first thing that we would do after somebody registers into our platform is give them a quick courtesy call, introduce ourselves, ask them about, how they sort of found us and why they registered. But I'm very much a problems guy. So I like to start with an understanding about the issues that they experience before we just like dip right into, product or benefits or anything else. We only exist to help dealerships and service centers and sales lots solve existing problems. So while a lot of folks really, really like to spend a lot of time talking about the future benefit of a thing that they sell, I prefer to start with, let's get a little prescriptive. Let's figure out whether or not you have the problems that our product addresses. If you do, it's probably worth your time and our time to continue talking. And if you don't, let's get you back to work, right? We can't help. So to add a little specific sort of color to that, the issues that our customers, by and large, tell us exist for them, especially in the service and parts procurement side, is especially for older units, it takes us way too long to get a quote for a thing. Right? It's outside of the initial 3-year warranty period from OEM. We may not be able to find it, or if we can find it, it's going to take weeks or in some cases months. That's too long. That's unacceptable. Beyond that, when we are ready to make a purchase, we often have to deal with minimum order quantities, which means we have to buy, or at least consider buying, more than what we need to service the RO in front of us. Also unacceptable, especially if we're talking about customer pay, right? And then finally, if we do make a purchase, again, assuming the unit is old, it may take weeks or months to receive that part on site so we can get our people back to work. Those are the 3 main gaps that we address for service and parts with our platform. So if you have listeners out there who suffer from any of that, if that sounds in any way familiar to you, then you can register on our site for free. It's glassandgraphics.com. That'll get the conversation started.
Do you have graphics that are cracked, faded, or completely missing? Have an insurance job, or are you just looking to revamp your ride?
We can provide graphics for any year, make, or model. Simply ask someone at the front desk how we can help you today.
Need a window replacement? We can do that too. It's in our name. Glass and Graphics.
Well, it's a pretty hard thing to find. There's so many different packages of graphics. Each window is probably a little bit different. I mean, for telling somebody that you're buying an RV, which is 28 feet, you would figure that, oh, okay, there'll be like a pretty simple process for replace and repair. How do you folks deal once they've registered and they have a need? Those sort of single orders, because we kind of graphics kind of go in styles. It's been very linear lately.
Just
And,
a little bit.
and before that, we all knew the swirl, right? The swoop. And, how do you find, to be able to deliver that
Yeah.
sort of one unit order from your platform?
Yeah. So coming from a tech background, I think it was very helpful to try to leverage technology the best we can in this blue collar industry. And so we use photo software and some different pretty cool softwares we've built that allow the customer to simply take a picture and it comes through to us, and then we can render and develop, whether it's one graphic, a whole kit, multiple kits, a logo, whatever. So custom colors, custom team colors, whatever. So and that's been very helpful not only for the aftermarket parts teams, but also dipping our foot into manufacturers, helping with insurance. We're starting to get into some different verticals now that maybe we didn't foresee a couple of years ago. And yeah.
Well, I imagine as you're growing here, as you're getting more of your feet into the water, so to speak, you're probably putting together a pretty decent database or library of past graphics and things like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Another reason for that 7 to 14 day turnaround. Very good.
Well, and I would have to imagine as people get to know you guys and you're able to deliver on this very specific project, that they think there's going to be this massive headache. Like, how on earth am I going to find something? And to your point, we talked about turnaround time. Now you're able to solve that problem. I'm guessing that, and you don't need to speak to this, but I'm guessing there are going to be more problems they bring to you that might expand the package of what you guys currently offer.
We love problems, man. We love problems. That's why we do what we do. So we're starting to get fleet, marine, some ancillary industries that are creeping up. So we're RV centric right now. That's our goal. We love the outdoors. We love hunting, fishing, camping, and everything in between. So we want to stay focused on helping this industry now. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity kind of poking its head up. So
I'm just curious, Jake, just picking up on what you just said. What's your background in the RV industry? I mean, did you grow up camping and RVing? Is that it?
Yeah, man. Snowboarding, hunting, fishing, anything outdoors, which, funny enough, being from California, you would maybe think that was the case. But my dad grew up a service guy in the RV industry. So,
okay,
we kind of grew up around those guys. And yeah, it's definitely, we're outdoors guys. I'd be doing this interview outside if I could. So.
We're sitting here talking to you all morning. We'd be out doing something fun.
Well, hey, I'll be right out there with you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's almost the weekend, so we can all get outside pretty soon. Wanted to ask you guys one final thing. What is the website domain that people can visit to get themselves registered?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you asking that. So I think I mentioned it in passing before, glassandgraphics.com. Again, that's glassandgraphics.com. Graphics is spelled GRAFIX. Okay. So if you're listening right now, you're in parts, you're in service, sales, fixed ops, what have you, go ahead, get on the website, get registered. It's free to do. We're free to use. We're not Amazon. There's no Prime membership or anything else, right? Once you are on the website, it is literally as simple as filling out like a half page of web form, a little bit of information about yourself so we can reach back out. You're going to use the temporary password G&G pound 2023. I think I just aged myself right there by saying pound instead of hashtag. So again, it's all caps, no spaces, G&G, hashtag 2023. The and is not spelled out. It is the ampersand sign. I think that's Shift 7 on any standard keyboard. So G&G.
Trying to have coding now, Matt?
What's that?
Go coding now. All right.
Yep.
Friday, man.
We'll display that URL.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, get your information entered. Use the temp password. I promise you, it's one of the easiest things that you guys can do to help your team make their days a little bit easier today.
One other thing I might point out too is as you go to the website to register and fill that out, take a look at some of the dealer partners you guys are proudly displaying there. Some rather impressive and rather big names.
We appreciate
Rick,
that. We pride ourselves
yeah,
in our ability to go to
appreciate
market.
it. I know something I wanted to say, Matt, that I just really, it's a profound kind of through line here at G&G is like, customer service. We're very customer centric. We care about people a lot, right? We're all people. We all got busy lives and careers, but I think something that we've really done well is be helpful and care about people and try to provide solutions. And so we pride ourselves on that, right? You see some of those names, like you said, the partners there on the site. It's for no other reason than we just try to really provide a good service, right? Technically, end product, customer experience. And I think that's maybe the best thing we're doing here. So I'm proud of our team and our partners for allowing us to be that in the market, because the market needs that right now. So
Very good. Very good.
Well, as one G&G, our owning company of RV Business, to your G&G guys, Matt and Jake, thank you for taking some time with us today, and look forward to talking with you in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you having us.
thanks, fellas.